don't do anything yet, because everybody got to stand up for a second. Come on. This is the high energy part of the day, people. Hoop, hoop. Come on, give me a hoop and holla. All right. Thank you. Now, before I get started, too, you need to pull out a pen and a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be a totally clean piece of paper, but enough to write a little something, something on in the middle of all this madness up here, okay? All right, let's do this thing. So first, a poll. How many of you have already felt like this in your careers? Right? Yeah, I'm sorry. This was me for 15 years, and why 15 years? And this is why I'm so passionate about being here today. Now, I had all the right skills. You've got all the right skills, right? You went to school, you've got the training, etc., but yet there was something missing for me, and I really didn't like my work. I even believed in the vision, the mission, the values. Now, maybe I wasn't quite prepared to fight to the death for most of them, but there was still something missing for 15 years. So skills, yes, they're important. Do not ignore them. Passion and finding meaningful work, absolutely critical, but we have to look at your brain too. And this idea of natural talents to find a fulfilling career. Here's some data to back me up. 1/4 of 10 million people surveyed by the Gallup organization could say that they got to do what their brain does best every day at work. 1/4. That means 3/4 of 156 million people in the U.S. civilian workforce look like that. And that's what I looked like for 15 years. Don't make the same mistake. When you pay attention to your natural talents in addition to your skills, you are 6 times as likely to be engaged. Do you know that means only hitting the snooze button twice instead of 12 times every morning? That also means that you are 3 times more likely to report having a great quality of life. Can I get an amen, please? Amen. Ow! All right, take your pen, your paper, print your first and your last name with your dominant hand, quickly. Do it a second time if you have time, and your name is like Kim Smith. Dominant hand. Now, switch hands, please, and do it again. Okay, do you hear the reaction in the room? Oh, that sucks. It takes longer. It doesn't feel comfortable. It's not natural. Exactly. Same part of the brain that we're talking about. So you have, right? You have, some people are still working on it. You have a natural talent or 4 represented in this chart. The people at Colby Corporation did a study of 150 top-level leaders, gave them an assessment to find out what their brain does best. Then they hooked them to an EEG machine, just like this nice gentleman here, and said, okay, we're gonna test this. So imagine the military man here has to solve a few problems every day at work. So we asked him to solve some problems. And not the problems that he might normally solve. I mean, we didn't put out a map of the world and say, tell us where the next 50,000 troops are going to go. No, we gave him a stack of Legos. Solve this problem. And then we watched to see what happened in his brain when he was solving a problem that went along with what the assessment said his strengths were. Now, EEG measures brain electricity. This is a pretty efficient use of energy. However, when we gave him a task that wasn't in line with his strengths, his EEG result looked a little different. Y'all know what this day feels like. I know it. The whole point here is when you tap into your natural talents in addition to your learned skills, you're more like this guy every day. After 15 years, I finally figured out, with the help of an assessment, what this looks like for me, and it changed my entire career path. That assessment is the Colby-A, because I wouldn't just talk about it and not give you the answer. And it really did. It changed my career outlook. It's changed some of my personal relationships, because now my brain is allowed to do what it does best. In addition to building skills, finding meaningful work, now my brain is actually engaged. And I only hit the snooze button maybe 4 times every morning. So if you take nothing away from this other than this one thing, tap into what your brain does best in addition to skills, in addition to paying attention to what meaningful work looks like for you, and you will never hate your job. Amen.